Another one that's kind of like Endless Ocean is something called African Safari, and it's the same kind of deal, except land animals in Africa. Same basic.
You're not swimming, are you
No,
running?
you're running from lions. I haven't ever been chased by a lion, but maybe that's
You've
in
heard
there.
about it.
Yeah, okay. So that one you might want to try out, but tell me how you do. I want to see you chased by a lion. And finally, the last one is something called Mario Brothers Olympic Games. You may have seen this one. There's one that came out last summer on the Summer Olympics, and there's one that has just come out for the Winter Olympics.
That'd be fabulous.
There's just tons of games, and again, lots of movement, lots of physicality involved. There's some swimming stuff in the Summer Olympics that just will wear you out, and I just stopped doing it with my kids because they kick my butt too much, but it's still a fun game. And again, middle school math teacher told me they use this particular game because there's a 100-meter dash, excuse me, and they'll break their kids into 4 different groups, and each group has to race. And this is how you race, 100 meters, and it takes about 10 seconds. And they collect the data and do math on the data that they collect, average times, mean, median, mode. They do predictions. They gather stuff back and forth. So it's a fun game, but we're already seeing how math teachers and science teachers can use those games to literally collect data, engage kids in the content right there in school. So those are a couple games that you might want to try out for older kids.
That sounds like a great idea.
Thinking about those games, though, which games are appropriate? Because there's lots of games out there, and because the Wii console is connected to the internet.
It can be a little scary sometimes to set my kids loose on that.
Yeah, so what I want to show you, and I want to show everybody else, is how you can go to the Wii console and literally set your parental control. So we're going to walk through that, and hopefully we're going to get this to work. You can see this is the main screen of your Wii console, and down in the bottom left-hand corner is a little button that says Wii. If you put your Wii mode across the top of it, it pops open Wii options, and you click that, you're going to get 2 choices. One, data management. We want Wii settings.
Okay.
Go ahead to that. It's going to give you a couple different screens. This is the first one. On the right-hand side, there's a little arrow that pops open. We want to go ahead and click that. And at the top is parental controls. Now, when I first got our Wii, we were excited. We set it up, got the internet hooked up. We were playing games, and I just blew this completely off. I didn't even think about it. So this is, if you get a Wii, this is probably one of the first things you want to do is go in there and set up your parental controls for your kids. And it's really simple. Go ahead and click that button, say yes, and it says, basically walks you through kind of some disclaimers. Just click OK. And then it's going to tell you, don't forget your PIN number, because you're in trouble if you do. So pick a number that you can remember. I'm going to go with something pretty basic, 1, 2, 3, 4. I can remember that, hopefully. It's going to ask you to confirm the number just to make sure you typed it in correctly. So I'm going to go again. Pretty basic. Click OK. Now it's going to ask you, in case I do forget the 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's happened before, it's going to ask you to pick a particular question. In my place of birth, you don't need to know that, but I'm going to go ahead. My mother's maiden name is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, you obviously put in a better answer than that, but just to give you a sense of how this works, I want to just zip through it. I'm going to click OK, and then right now you're basically done. But I want to go in there and set some other things. So I'm going to go in here and set my game settings. And this is where you set the availability of games based on the ratings. So right now, by default, any game can be played. Go ahead and click that, and you have some choices here. Right now, allow all video game content. And if you click the down arrow, you have some choices. And you talked about, well, if you have a 5-year-old and a 6-year-old, set it for the lowest level. And this is not the best situation, but I'm going to go ahead and pick teen. And then what I'm going to probably do is tell my older kids what the password is. Because they're going to be able to play all the games. It's okay. I just don't want my younger kids playing the same games my 16-year-old kid plays. All right? So you're going to have to trust your 16-year-old not to blow your password. If you do, change the password. Don't tell him. He's off games for a while, right?
That's his problem, not mine.
So there are some other settings. You had asked about the internet earlier, and you can set parental controls for online functionality and Wii settings and that kind of stuff. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to restrict my kids from buying anything online with Wii points unless they come to me and ask for permission. I would do that for them. I can set here and say, I don't want anybody to go on there and talk to my kid on the message board. I can come in here and say, you know what? I don't really want them going on the internet channel. I'm going to close that off. I don't want them going, well, yeah, news channel, that's okay. I don't have a problem with that. Once you do that, then you're good to go. I click Settings Complete, takes you back to the original screen. I can click back, and here you are. It's that simple. Pretty basic. So we talked about 4, 5, or 6 games.
Right.
We walked through how to do parental controls, and you're set. You can go home. play some games, know your kids are going to be using appropriate games in appropriate ways and accessing stuff that they're supposed to access.
It sounds like a great
Yeah.
plan.
Pretty simple.
Thanks for joining us for Great Games, Better Brains.
See you next time.